Ubisoft. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is going on? You're at it again. So everybody, Ubisoft has been the topic of two different discussions as it's getting fucking ass blasted on two different fronts because of Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, because unfortunately, it's goddamn Ubisoft. Honestly, from what it looks like, they can't seem to do shit right on either side. So let's god damn it. Let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws first, right? Because that game has been from the beginning had a sort of shitty lukewarm reception, and with the recent gameplay trailer from I think IGN, it's gotten even fucking worse for, the Outlaws game. The gameplay trailer showed us ugly graphics and transitions, boring to mildly ridiculous combat, and it just, to me personally, it just didn't look good. Maybe they chose the wrong mission and the wrong planet to set the gameplay trailer on, or to give IGN like a place to play, right? But dear God, the visual effects from the explosion scene, like you should know what the fuck I'm talking about. I probably will put it on the screen here, but oh my God, it just tells you what you need to know about all this. Who knows? Maybe it just might be the planet. Maybe that planet just needs a little bit more polish and updates. But dear God, that mission in particular was not good looking. It's fucking crazy that whoever decided on this direction for Ubisoft to go in with Star Wars Outlaws, just, it feels like doomed the game from the start because of its uninteresting direction. The one only interesting character so far is a fucking commando droid in a fucking coat, which looks baller as hell. And everybody else, there's nothing there for me to like because it just all seems generic. I think people are just tired of this formula in general, not just with Ubisoft games, with this sort of generic, like, quirky person with this objective, right? Especially since this character doesn't feel that cool or really unique at all from what we've seen so far. It could be different when I actually play the game and there's actual story beats to it that's really nice. Who knows, right? But I don't think Ubisoft is utilizing its strengths and the best it can be and what it can do with Star Wars. Like, come on, like, who the fuck wants this sort of game from Ubisoft? The people that made Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow, fucking Tom Clancy's The Division, motherfucking Ghost Recon. Like, come on, this just feels like a copied Uncharted but made worse. If I were to make Ubisoft make a Star Wars game, pretty sure I said this before, but fucking clone Commando, please. Just use that knowledge of fucking Rainbow Six to your advantage, for the love of God. Or just a Clone Wars ARC Trooper game. That would be fucking sick. Could you imagine a Bad Batch game but use the template of Rainbow Six Siege New Vegas as, a template? An ARC Trooper or Clone Commando game using Ghost Recon as a template? Like, that shit would be baller as fuck, but we're not getting any of that shit anytime soon because we're getting this Outlaw game. Yippee. I don't know. This just feels like it just adds more to the whole evidence of how Ubisoft is just mismanaged and just makes bad decisions. And, the direction Ubisoft is going it has been good for quite a long time now. Now, folks, let's shift our attention to the other side of the battlefield, and that is with Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? So, people were pretty obviously annoyed with Ubisoft, with Yasuke, and trying to make him seem like he was a samurai when he was just a retainer for Oda. That itself is just a fucking argument in itself, and I'm not really going to get into it, but I personally believe that he was just a retainer, that was just someone Oda kept around because he was cool to have around, and he has experience with, being a bodyguard and all. And, he was just, an accessory to his rule, I guess, right? Like, hey, I'm a quirky guy. I'm a crazy dude, right? I have this guy from far off lands here as one of my retainers. Wonderful, right? And, to Yasuke's credit, he did try to defend Oda's son from the traitors that killed Oda himself. So, yeah, that's Yasuke is a cool character, but I just don't believe that he was an actual samurai and all that. That's what I personally believe. However, even if it's true or not, this is a fucking video game, and it's making Yasuke a samurai in a video game. Who the fuck cares? It is a sci-fi fiction game. Tons of Assassin's Creed has story-wise not made no fucking sense, right? Or is wild as fuck. Or, you know, if you haven't been paying attention to to Assassin's Creed, like ever since 3, this whole like, you know, system is keeping a whole solar flare from frying us alive. I'm pretty sure that's the still current story so far. And that's why there's so many like floods and natural disasters that the current team has to try and figure out. So yeah, this Assassin's Creed has a bunch of dumbass shit in it when it comes to sci-fi fiction and stuff like that. But I guess people are just worried about this specific piece of history. And like, I get it, but at the same time, this is a video game. Like, come on, it's not meant to be real. Like, it's real adjacent, I guess, in a lot of certain aspects, but come on, like, it's not that deep, honestly. But when it comes to the Japanese people and, you know, their history and stuff like that, I'm not Japanese. You know, I don't have a say in it. I don't have a say in their history. But, you know, if they don't feel like it's, you know, something that's real, or, you know, that it's a real big issue, that's their right to, you know, that's their thing. Yet we draw the line at a black guy samurai. It's there's plenty of like different questionable stuff when it comes to Assassin's Creed, especially with a little bit of Valhalla, the sex stuff. I was like very confused about that. Like, why is this here? But yeah, I get both sides of the argument, but at the end of the day, it's a video game. I think the concept is cool. However, how we're making him a playable main character, I think, is a bigger issue for most people. Because I personally believe he should have been a playable side character for, you know, specific missions around Japan or the location the game is set in, right? So do I think the dynamic between Yasuke and Nao, whatever her name is, where one is the light and the other is the shadow, is cool? Yes, I do think it's cool. I do like the dynamic and the changes in combat between them. I think it's pretty interesting. The thing is, though, is that I think having Yasuke be that, you know, that sort of offensive combat guy is cool, but why didn't they just do that with like another Japanese assassin who's male who could do all this, right? And it's Japan, of course. Having different schools and men dominate the combat space, you know, it makes more sense than Yasuke, you know, leading all these men as a samurai and him just being kind of like that low key guy, right? Yasuke could have been like the retainer no one really cared for and just looked at as a unique piece of jewelry for Oda, while in the shadows, he's the one that's running like the true assassin network of Japan and helps Nao and, you know, the other main character we never got go through the story and so on and so forth, right? I think that could have been more interesting because it makes sense because Yasuke came in with some, Catholic Christian missionaries or whatever, as a bodyguard, and that could have been his way into Japan to set up his own network for the assassins. That could have been really interesting, but we didn't get that. So, you know, it's whatever, right? In fucking stead, we got Yasuke being a samurai, which is questionable, but have Japanese fucking hip-hop music in the background of his goddamn combat trailer. I'm just like looking at this like, are the devs so out of touch and don't think twice how dumb and insensitive and stupid, crazy this shit is? This shit is so fucking dumb when I finally realized this is hip hop music in the background. What the fuck? What the fuck? And I didn't really pay attention like too much until like the third time I watched the trailer to really like look at it, because I was just like, why? Why? Then there's this whole thing about like Zoro's sword being taken to be used as like, you know, part of the game's like promotional material, and, you know, the taking of a symbol of a group that's actively in Japan right now, and a whole load of, you know, crap, especially trying to rewrite history on how Yasuke was a samurai on Wikipedia, or some bunch of crazy shit I've heard throughout these past few weeks, right? So it's just a fucking damn dumb fucking dumpster fire of a situation. I think the gameplay is going to be at least decent, and the story at the very least will be bearable. If probably just I'm probably just going to go ahead and just switch the dialogue to Japanese with, you know, subtitles on, because maybe I'll just go ahead and look how the English dub fares when it comes to its dialogue. But if, it's kind of cringe and it's not something I really like, I just switch to Japanese because, I watch tons of anime. It's whatever. It is not that much of a crazy thing to do. So, yeah, Ubisoft really fucked up a lot when it comes to these both ends of, two games that are very popular for them, right? That makes them the most money. And, they just fucked up. Terrible results all around. And maybe Shadows will be decent enough to calm the fuck storm that is going on the internet right now, to at least kind of make a profit. But I really don't think Outlaws is going to be too crazy, honestly. These are just my thoughts on Ubisoft lately, royally fucking everything up. But not just one game, but two. So I can't wait to see where it all goes after they both launch. Because Ubisoft, please, for the love of God, make better decisions. It's just looking at an old friend who's been fucking up for such a long time, and I just want better, honestly, because you were part of my childhood with, the first couple of Assassin's Creeds, Rainbow Six, The Division, fucking Ghost Recon. I just loved all those earlier games back in the day, and now it's just not the best. So with that being said, hope you guys have been all right. Thank you guys so much for the support recently, and talk to you guys next time. Stay healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. Peace.